We're going to create an AI chatbot with RAG so that it can scan a website and provide support based on the content in that website. And we're going to do it with Lovable. Let me walk you through how to build this chatbot. The first thing you're going to want to do is go into Supabase and create a project. You can just create an account in Supabase if you want and create a project. If you've built anything before, I'm guessing you probably already have an account, and just create a new project, name it whatever you want, give it a password, and click create, because you're going to need that in a little bit. And then you're going to give it a prompt kind of like this one. It does not have to be this detailed. This is just one I worked up for a RAG chatbot, but basically you're defining for it that you want it to be able to crawl sites and index them, chunk them up, send that chunked data based on searches to the AI, have the AI read the content and provide an answer back, which is the function of RAG. So when you give that prompt to Lovable, which is what I did, I copied and pasted it in, it went ahead and built the first version, immediately errored. So what you would do next is, since it has this button right here, you would go ahead and click Connect Supabase, and it will pull up all of your options here. This is already connected, so it won't show up, but it'll show the project that you've created and any other projects that you have, and you would just select that from here. And then you would continue on, so it'll have an error, likely. It might not in your case, but almost every one of these that I've built has had some sort of error in the first build. So you just click that error and tell it to try to fix it. You're going to go through that a few times. It errored a couple times. It made a mock API. So you can see here, I'm just copied in the errors, and it said it fixed it. It did not fix it, so I copied in the error again. It was a new error, and you just go through that one at a time. Once you have the first working screen here, it will have created something that probably doesn't actually have auth. So you'll then need to tell it to create auth, because what it does is it says it's going to make it, and it doesn't. It just makes it all on the front end. So then you tell it to use Supabase, create auth. It's going to go through this process, fail a couple times. Again, same process, just click try to fix it, keep going. You might have to do that a couple times. And then you will get to the point where it produces a migration file like this. You're going to have it run that SQL, fix any errors that happen, and it will fix the errors in the SQL and in the TypeScript files. Again, a couple iterations of this, just keep telling it to fix the error as it goes through. You will have soon a functional login. Now, what happens next is the first time you go to log in, you're going to have to create a user, and it will send you an email for that user to authenticate, and that email will fail because this is a development site. So you will not be able to actually click that and authenticate a user. Here is how you fix it. You go into Supabase and you click authentication, sign up, scroll down to this where it says email, and these two will be toggled on. Go ahead and toggle those off for development. Once you do that, you click save in the bottom right, and you will be able to log in with your new user that you created. Following that, all you have to do is test each step. So I added a website, attempted to crawl it, it failed. You tell that to Lovable, and you'll find out that it created something that just had a placeholder. So it will fix that part. And then you'll get to the next part where it says you go to do a crawl again, you test again. And in this case, you're on the website. So I open it in a new tab to do this. But whenever you take a step for a site and you go to, say, tell it to crawl, and it errors, you're going to right click and inspect and look at the console for errors, and you're going to copy those errors into Lovable. And that's what I pasted in here. It goes ahead to fix the crawl error. Once it does that, I can check the edge function logs if I want to, but you can do that if it's continuing to error. It did fix it in this case. So now I asked it about the OpenAI API connection that I gave it, and it said it just made a mock API. It didn't make a real one. So I told it to fix that for me, and again advised that the crawl is working. And it went ahead and had me add the secret. So you'll just go ahead and click this edge function secrets prompt that it gives you. It's going to take you over here to the secrets. You will type in whatever you want the secret key to be and paste in your OpenAI API key. And then you will provide that name like I did here, and it will go ahead and configure it to be used. Now I ran into a situation here with this one where it did not build what I asked it to, which was a test functionality into the backend so that when I'm in here in a particular website, I can test it. So I asked it to build that, which it did for me. Then we went through several iterations of me asking it about the content and it failing to provide answers, which was the next series of debugging. So then I tried to have a chat and it said it was having issues and I copied the console error. Again, this is a common process you have to follow for this sort of build. Create the error, inspect, look at the console, see what the error is, copy that back to your tool and give it time to fix that error. And you will just work through the errors one at a time this way. So it will fix one piece of the error, and then I found out that it says it does not have any information about the products on the site that it's crawled. So clearly it was not receiving any information from the database that we had just crawled and chunked up. So I asked if that was not built. It said it was not built. It went ahead and built it for me. And then I tested it. It failed a few times. Now this right here to debug when it's querying the edge function, like what we have going on here, you then select the edge function that you want to look at and you look at the logs. And it will have a log of any errors that happened, and you can click and copy the raw log for that error or that message into Lovable. You paste that into Lovable, you do that a few times, as I did here, and it will fix the edge function for you. Just go back and forth with it, test, find the next error, test. It's just going to be going through each line of the code basically and hitting the next place where it was written wrong. I went ahead and had it clean up the visuals a little bit, but at this point it was fully functional. And now we can go over here. This site that was crawled is a dog supply website, and we can ask it, what is a good toy for a large dog? And what it's going to do is send that request out, and it will actually look through all of the pages it's crawled and provide back a product. So that is how you build a chatbot with a built-in RAG agent to provide AI answers and support for any content that you feed it. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give me a like and subscribe so you can see more just like it.